Hey guys, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. You?
I'm doing well. So to start, with a show that is kind of, it not only messes with time, but it also messes with our perception of these characters and kind of what we believe is going on with them in a lot of ways. What is for both of you the fun of getting to explore a show like Culprits, both as for you, Jay, the creator, for you, Stephen, as an executive producer?
Well, for me, I think like you say, the interesting thing is sort of being able to play with a genre. And then for me, it's always to work with great actors and make something you're really proud of. But I think what you said about genre is right, that I think people are so savvy about film genre and about how things work in TV shows and
Mhm.
how things work in stories that you can use that to your advantage and you can sort of play with an audience who are so smart that you can show them two things and they go, oh, I know what's going to happen in 5 scenes time, and you can sort of hint that that's what's going to happen. And then you can zig and you can zag and you can cut back in time, cut forward in time, and they're still sort of engaged. If they guess right, then they're happy because they're like, look how smart I am. And then if they guess wrong and you outwit them, then they're like, oh, you got me. So there's a joy to both of it, and genre works. That's fun for genre to me. Like a straight ahead genre which just hits all the buttons is less interesting to me. They're kind of fun
Mhm.
to watch, but to make, I kind of, instead of hitting all the buttons, I kind of like it to be a bit more like a pinball machine, and keep the audience on their toes.
Well, I think too, it's just in a world where there's so much kind of darkness and misery, you just want to provide what I would call shameless entertainment. And I don't think we should apologize for just being shamelessly entertaining. And if it works, which I hope it does, that's what it is. And I think it's relatable in the sense, for quite a wide audience, because our central character is literally an ordinary Joe who just wants to settle down with his family, like most people, and open a little bistro locally and be normal and slightly dull. And he has to go through kind of hell and mayhem in order to achieve that. So there's that rather wonderful tension between these two things. But anyone could look at him and think, yeah, I want what he has, and it isn't necessarily ludicrous amounts of money. Which, as you discover when you've got a suitcase full of banknotes currently, when no one actually using cash, what the hell do you do with that?
Mhm. Yeah, and I do think like I also like that the show is not like specifically set in time. Like I like that it's just before, now, and like because I think when you do make it so specific, that's when you get kind of lost in trying to figure out the specifics of what's going on, and then you lose certain aspects of the actual important parts of the show. Was that something that was important to you guys when you were creating it to make it more about the characters and what is going on in those moments and less about, 1995 or 2014 and more about the actual characters?
Yeah, I mean, one of the temptations of this one to make it into an 8 hour show rather than a 2 hour movie is that you get to spend more time with these characters. Like, you often see heist movies when there's loads of characters, but it's the person who's planning it, and then there's like one other person, and they're the people that you're following. In this one, like the person who's planning it sort of becomes the mystery, and it's the sort of the side characters, the sort of the interesting sort of like often sort of disposable or ignored characters from the heist genre that sort of take center stage, and sort of digging into their lives and getting to know them and getting to know their relationships and really empathizing with them. That for me was a reason to make it into a show rather than the film, because in a film you would have had to have just kind of skimmed over them so much. And so for me, yeah, as you say, it's not really important exactly what happened and how they planned it. It's much more important about how these people reacted to it and feel about it and how they feel about each other.
Yeah, and for last quick question, the kind of genre is always fun because I think like heists in general are just cool to watch because it makes you want to be like, I can do that, even though you can't. Um, but so what for you guys was the most fun about getting to tell a story like this in 2023, which I think we have so many heist stories, but it is still cool that we can tell different stories within the genre.
I think it was just being able to tell the heist story from in a completely different way. And as Jay said earlier, just being able to start our story when most heist stories end. And I think you were talking about the jumping around in time, the fun of that, and it was a way of actually coming back to character from different angles over and over again. Because when you play with time like that, it's like looking at a familiar object from an unfamiliar angle. You come back and you think, oh, I thought it was this, but actually it's that. And so there's constant revelation. It's just it treats the audience, I hope, as intelligent humans, because they are. and gives them the thrill of discovery. And so it feels like a very contemporary telling of, yes, a familiar genre, but all mixed up in a fun way.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Nice to meet
Have a
you.
great one.
Bye.
Nice meeting you.